Hello everyone, I'm Esperanza Walsh and this is Art from the Heart at St. Augustine's Church. And we are still in lockdown, so we're doing our session remotely. So I have a sheet of paper here and we are still painting dandelions. And this time, different kind of dandelions that we show you. We are painting white dandelions. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly. Okay, you see there are several dandelions here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But for the purpose of this session, I will just paint 3 or 4 of them. Let's see. Okay, and it's going to be in a different style, and I do hope you enjoy it. Let's start. The first thing we have to do is to sketch the dandelions. So the original piece that we have is on landscape, but since we're only painting 3 or 4 flowers, maybe 3 flowers, we are going to do it in a portrait orientation. So I'm first going to draw a circle here, and then another circle here behind that, and then I will draw another one here. However, for this one, from the center, I'm going to draw lines going to the side. So if I don't know if you remember a certain game called Pac-Man, but it's more of that shape. It's like a pie where a portion of the pie has been removed. So this is the shape I would like to have. And then I am going to draw the stems. So stems going down, stems going up. So it's just 2 lines parallel to each other, a bit curved. I know it's not perfectly parallel, but let's try to make it as parallel as possible. And then here, another leaf. And then, I'm sorry, another flower. And here I am going to paint the leaf. Okay, for the leaf, okay, this is the shape of the leaf of a dandelion. And to do that, I will draw it separately so you can understand how we have achieved that shape. So first is my straight line, and then my leaf shape. So this one is just a regular leaf, but for the dandelion, when you start here, you go inside and back out, inside and out, inside and out, and then you go straight to the end here at the tip where it intersects with the other line. Okay, and we do the same thing on the other side. Oops. Okay, so roughly you know what I mean. Okay, so to make that clearer, I'm going to paint it in blue. I'm going to draw in blue using an acrylic pen, the outline of the leaf of the dandelion leaf. So that is my leaf. So this is the part that's attached to the stem. And we are going to make a few of those here, maybe 1 or 2, or maybe even 3. So first, I make the regular shape of the leaf. I draw it. And then those waves on the sides. Okay, here. And then mirror image of that, or almost a mirror image. Okay. Then I will erase the unnecessary lines. Okay. Erasing the unnecessary. Okay, and then I'm gonna do another one. Okay, here, I'm gonna make it a little bit more curved because that one looks very stiff. So I'm just gonna make another one here, really curved. And then, of course, the rest of the leaf would also be curved. Okay, and now we do the same thing. The scallops, or zigzag, and then we mirror that on the other side. And then we erase the unnecessary lines to prevent us from getting confused. Now, from my previous session, I didn't draw the seeds. So here, since we still have space here, we're going to draw some of the seeds flying. So it's just a line with connected to 3 lines. So there are actually 4 short lines that intersect with each other. Uh, and one of them has that big round thing at the end. That's actually the seed. So here, I'm going to do that again. Okay. And then here, so let's put some here. And here, I'm just going to draw lines with the round thing at the end with the seeds. And the reason for that is I am going to leave the ends white. So when we paint the background, it's actually going to be, we're actually going to use negative painting for it to achieve the outcome that we would like. Now, to begin, I would begin with the, oops, sorry about that. It appears that my brush is not clean enough. Okay, my apologies. Yes, I did make some color to create green paint. My apologies for that. So for this one, I'm just gonna paint this with water, just around my flower. And then I'm gonna get the green paint. And then I'm gonna paint the zigzag shapes here. Okay. Okay. It seems that I have too much water, but that's okay. As long as that, as I can create that jagged appearance on the edge of that circle. Okay, that's great. That is wonderful. Okay, and then next is the other one. And again, I have to clean my brush and then paint the other one with water. Okay, and for this bit, I need to lift it. And then now I just paint the edges again, zigzag, jagged. Okay, I'm gonna lift some of the paint here and here. But I have achieved my jagged circle. Okay, now still wet, which is good. Okay, I'm gonna add some more water here on this side of it. And then from here, we paint this one, again, just with water. And again, we do exactly the same thing. We just paint the edge of the curve. And yes, this time I'm using curve because it's not a full circle. Okay. And then, if need be, we can lift some paint. There we go. Beautiful. So again, we paint the outer bit with more water. And same here. And this is to allow a smooth flow of the paint. So by that I mean creating a smooth gradient, so I don't see any transition which is not really nice to look at. So we try to make it as smooth as possible. So now we paint this bit with green. Yeah, we paint over the leaves. We paint over the stem. And here again, same thing. We paint over the stems and the leaves. And then here, we paint with water. Yeah, it's a little bit greenish here. It's because my brush is not as clean as I would like it to be, but that is okay. So now we use blue for this top area. Yes, because the background is the sky. And again, we let this transition smoothly into our green paint. To do that, we might need to add more green paint here. Aha. Okay. Now, I need to add more green paint here. Again, that smooth transition is very important to me. And of course, balance as well. Balance is also very important. And if you see any puddle, uh, please do lift the excess paint. Okay, now we go back to the top. Make sure our brush is clean and dry. And then we start lifting, lifting the paint. Okay. We might need to do this one more time. Mhm. Again, we lift the paint. We're actually doing a very good job. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's just beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to lift the paint here. Here. Let's lift that. Okay, beautiful. And then here as well, I'm going to lift some of the paint. Might be a little bit more difficult, but we can repeat the process. So not to worry. Okay, now we are going to paint the middle part of the flower with green. So we just make those green circles, green dots there. And then the whiskers I've been talking about earlier. So just going out like that. Okay, that's wonderful. And then this one as well. But for this one, the whiskers are only within the curve. Because what happened here is that part of it have already flown away, and that's actually what we see here. Okay, so now let me just add some blue to give it more character. Same here. And then burnt umber, our favorite. Okay, for the burnt umber, we just drop it center, just like how we did with the first green layer, and then paint our whiskers. It doesn't necessarily have to be over the original ones. Then same here. Lovely. Now, there are some areas where I over painted with the burnt umber. So for those, I just have to lift the paint like this, where it bled into the green area. And this. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, we've done a good job there. So let's more lift there. Okay, now we've done that. We are going to paint the seeds with burnt umber just by dropping the paint there. And then later on, once it has dried completely, we add a certain part of the thing that connects that to that stuff, the white stuff that makes them fly. Okay, now it's now time to paint the leaves. Now, to paint the leaves, we just paint another layer of green on it. Okay, for this area over here, I can see that there's some sort of a puddle that has to be removed. Otherwise, all the paint would accumulate in that area and it's going to distort the shape of the leaf. So I'm going to use my excess paint here. Let me just get a kitchen towel. So here, again, I'm just removing the excess paint so that we can see the shape of our leaf. Okay, so that's good. Now the other leaf. Okay, and then the stem. Okay, I'm just reinforcing the edges by that zigzag shape. And then softening the outer side. Okay, now I think I need to do the same thing for this one because I could hardly see the zigzag shape. But there we go. That's very nice. Okay. Okay, so the next thing is again burnt umber, and that is to give some dimensions to our leaves. So if the light is coming from this area, okay, this is where we see the shadow. Goes like that. Okay, and then that's for the rest, same for the rest of the leaves. So here, I don't really see a shadow, maybe a little bit there, but the shadow would be on this side. So let me just turn it around so that I can paint that shadow. Okay, so that's the shadow for the leaves. Okay, now the ribs. Okay, that's good. Now for the stems. So for the stems, you're on the left and also on the right. You can do it on one side only, but I opt to do it on both sides to make the stem appear to be rounder. Yes, on both sides. One side should be thinner than the other. The thinner side would be the one where the light is coming from. Okay, like that. Perfect. So now, okay, I didn't use yellow ochre during my class, but I will use yellow ochre now. Oh, that is because we didn't have the seeds flying during class. So here, I will just draw this line. Like that. Okay, so here we have that. And then again, burnt umber here for the seed. Oh, wonderful. Now we just rinse our brush and soften this bit so that the brown paint or the burnt umber doesn't appear like a straight line, but instead gradually moves from the green area to the edge. There we go. Okay, here we need to add a little bit water because it's already starting to dry. Yeah, there we go. The water will help it spread naturally. Let me just turn it around. Oh, we're almost finished. So now we just need some black paint. There we go, black paint. And then just some details here. Some details here. Like that. And here as well. So just black paint over there. And then let me just turn it around. Okay. So here on the stems. So let me just paint that line on the stem. That's black. And then this one as well. And then on the leaves, and then on these leaves. Okay. And then here, dots here, just for the shadow. And then I am going to paint the middle with black. We didn't do this in class, but I will do this now. It adds a greater dimension. And then for this one as well, we're going to put some dots here, black dots. Which should denote the shadow. And then here as well, just some dots. And maybe a little more over here. Just dots. Okay, let me see if I need to fill in any area or if it's good enough. Okay, so this is the final piece where we have white. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we do. I'm sorry, I forgot the most important bit, the splatter. Oh my God, sorry about that. And for this one, as I did in class, I am going to use yellow as my splatters. And that is to um, be close to the green and the blue as well, because blue and yellow is green. And if we add a little more yellow, it becomes yellow green. So it just acts as an accent to it. So these are my white daffodils. I mean, white dandelions. I'm sorry. And I do hope you enjoyed painting the dandelions. Again, for the class, we did this, which had more dandelions in it. So it's up to you. You can create a large garden with lots of dandelions, or you can do it in a different style as we did previously with the other dandelions that we painted. So again, I hope you enjoyed the session, and I'm looking forward to see you again in our next session. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.